The Zarkon galaxy was quiet that day. Light from a nearby dying star shimmered across the surface of Varelia Prime, the homeworld of the Varelians. The planet's pale green skies stretched above vast cities shaped like spiraling towers. From a distance, one might think the Varelians had built everything perfectly, but perfection was only the result of careful planning and control. They liked things predictable. They liked things safe. In the Grand Council Hall, a chamber of polished crystal and softly glowing panels, the Varelian leaders gathered. Their forms were tall and slender, with long necks and shimmering blue skin that seemed to catch the light like water. They were deep in discussion about routine trade and exploration missions when an alarm sounded. The Council's youngest member, Xylar, flinched. "An incoming transmission from the neighboring system," he said. His voice was calm, but his compound eyes widened slightly. "It is unusual." The Council President Orvix leaned forward. "Show it," he said. The message appeared on the main holographic display. Symbols shifted and rearranged themselves into shapes the Varelians could read. It was clear, but the meaning was strange. Warning: a dangerous species approaches. Unknown capabilities. Expect arrival soon. There were no other details. No picture, no information about numbers or technology. Just a warning that something or someone was coming. Orvix's tentacle twitched. Unknown capabilities? How can we prepare without knowing who they are? We cannot risk ignorance. The Varelians prided themselves on intelligence and careful planning. They had mapped dozens of star systems, negotiated alliances with multiple species, and maintained a fleet strong enough to repel nearly any threat. But the unknown always brought tension. "We must assume the worst," said Kylix, the head of the military division. "We do not know if this species is warlike or if it is small and fragile. Either way, our defenses must be ready." Xylar, who had studied alien species for many cycles, felt a chill. He had seen countless warnings before, but something about this one felt different. The transmission? It does not match any known pattern of species in this region. Whoever sends this does not fear us, yet they warn us seriously. Orvix's voice was sharp. "Prepare the fleets. Alert the scouts. We will be ready. If this species is dangerous, we cannot wait for them to arrive." Far away, across countless star systems, a human fleet traveled silently through the void. They called themselves the Horizon Expedition, a group of explorers from Earth. Known across several systems as Deathworlders, humans had survived planets with poisonous skies, crushing gravity, freezing temperatures, and predators stronger than many starship crews. Their resilience was almost legendary. Captain Rami stood on the bridge of the lead ship, her eyes scanning the star charts. She was tall with brown skin and sharp, intelligent eyes. Her first officer, Tariq, stood beside her, fingers lightly tapping the controls. "Sensors picking up an unusual energy signature," Tariq said. "It's a dense network of fields, artificial, and they are shifting. Could be defensive, could be traps." Rami nodded, her expression calm but focused. "Good, that means someone is home. Keep our course steady. We don't want to alarm them before we know what they are capable of." "Captain, the readings are unlike anything we've encountered before," Tariq said. "The energy fields. They are coordinated, almost like they think ahead." Rami smiled faintly. "Then let's see how they react to humans. Sometimes fear alone is more useful than our weapons." Back on Varelia Prime, the Council worked late into the long day. Communications with neighboring systems were summoned, fleets were activated, and every city was on alert. The Varelians were confident, but they could not hide a growing tension. Who would send such a warning? Orvix wondered aloud. And why? Xylar's antennae twitched nervously. Perhaps it is a species we do not know. "They could be dangerous or clever," Kylix interjected. "Dangerous or clever, it does not matter. We must assume they are both. Prepare the defensive arrays. Scan all incoming systems. Position our warships at strategic points." Outside, the skies of Varelia Prime were serene, but the calm was deceptive. Across the galaxy, humans approached steadily, their fleet small but sturdy. The alien scanners had not detected them yet. They were moving silently, adjusting their energy signatures to avoid unnecessary attention. On the horizon, Rami checked her crew's readiness. "All stations report green. Keep sensors active. Remember, we are explorers first, but we are never unprepared." Tariq grinned slightly. "Explorers with teeth." Rami chuckled, a sound that was unusual in the cold metal of the ship's bridge. "Yes, we have teeth. Let's see if they need reminding. The Varelians had no idea what was coming. Their intelligence report suggested several possibilities. A species seeking alliance, a scientific mission, or perhaps a raiding party. They had prepared for all of them, but the unknown always made them uneasy. In one of the council's chambers, Xylar studied the data streams, trying to predict the species' capabilities. Every calculation, every projection, failed to give a clear picture. Nothing fits, he muttered. Nothing matches their potential. They could be clever, ruthless, or resilient. Perhaps all three. Orvix's voice echoed in the chamber. Prepare the ceremonial warning as well. If they are diplomatic, they will respond. If they are aggressive, we will be ready. We must maintain our honor and our safety. Meanwhile, the humans approached the edge of Varelian space. Their ships glowed softly against the blackness of space. The crew moved with confidence and calm. Humans had survived countless harsh worlds. They thrived where others struggled. That knowledge gave them a quiet strength that was easy to underestimate. Rami looked out through the viewport at the alien star systems. We are entering a system full of eyes and sensors. Remember, they know nothing about us. We will show them who we are, but only if necessary. Tariq nodded. And if they don't listen? Rami's gaze was steady. Then they will learn the hard way. In the council hall on Varelia Prime, Orvix finally sighed. I do not like uncertainty, he admitted. But we have done what we can. All we can do now is wait, and hope that this species respects caution. Across the stars, humans moved ever closer, unaware of the tension they stirred. The legends of Deathworlders were not known here yet. But soon, the aliens would discover what the galaxy already knew. Humans were survivors, problem solvers, and above all, unpredictable. The first contact was near, and nothing in the Varelians' careful calculations had prepared them for what they would see. The Varelian scouts hovered at the edge of their system, their sleek ships glinting in the dim light of a distant star. They had been sent to investigate the unusual energy signature approaching from deep space. Nothing in their records matched the profile of this fleet. Their sensors struggled to analyze the ship's designs. They are unlike any known species, said Xylar, his antennae twitching in concern. Their energy patterns are stable but irregular. They are not hiding, yet they remain unpredictable. Kylix, the Varelian military leader, narrowed his eyes. Unpredictable does not mean harmless. Prepare the strike fleet. If they show aggression, we strike immediately. At the same time, the human fleet continued its steady approach. The lead ship, Horizon, moved with precision, weaving through asteroid belts and solar winds with ease. Humans had learned to survive the harshest conditions on planets many others could not even land on. Space, as vast as it was, posed little threat to them. Captain Rami stood at the command console, her fingers lightly tapping the controls. Sensors? All clear for now, said Tariq, her first officer. No aggressive movements detected, but their scanning energy is strong. They are cautious. Curious, perhaps. Good, Rami said. Let them look. Humans are not afraid of curiosity. The first meeting occurred above a neutral asteroid station at the edge of Varelian space. The station was old, designed for refueling and repairs, and neutral ground for any species traveling through the sector. A perfect place for cautious first contact. The Varelians arrived first, positioning their ships in a semicircle around the station. Their leader, Orvix, sent a formal message. Identify yourselves. State purpose. You are entering Varelian space without prior notice. Explain immediately. The humans responded quickly, their message calm but firm. We are explorers from Earth. We travel through this sector to study and observe. We do not intend harm. We request safe passage and dialogue. The Varelians were puzzled. The tone was polite, but there was no fear. No hesitation. In their experience, unknown species often showed nervousness or at least caution. These humans did neither. Xylar leaned closer to his console. They speak with confidence, yet their ships are unarmored compared to ours. Strange. They do not behave like invaders, but they do not behave like diplomats either. Orvix's voice was sharp. Prepare for all possibilities. Let them know that any hostile action will be met with immediate response. We cannot take chances. The humans slowly maneuvered their fleet closer to the station. Rami gave precise commands, keeping her ships in tight formation but not aggressive. We show respect, she said, but not weakness. Let them see we can respond if necessary. A Varelian warship moved forward, blocking the path. Its massive energy shield shimmered. On board, the captain's voice was tense. "Identify your fleet. Show your capabilities or we will assume threat." Rami's reply was calm. "We have no desire to fight. We come in peace. Our capabilities are irrelevant if there is no conflict, but if attacked, we will defend ourselves." The tension in the station's empty corridors could almost be felt. The aliens had never encountered a species so direct, so unafraid. Humans did not show fear. Humans did not beg for mercy. Humans simply stated facts. Xylar shook his head in disbelief. "This is unlike anything we have encountered. They are confident yet not reckless. How can that be?" Suddenly, one of the Varelian scouts attempted to intimidate the humans by flying directly in front of the lead ship, its weapon systems glowing bright. The aliens intended to show superiority. Tariq noticed the move immediately. "Captain, they are testing us." Rami's eyes sparkled with a hint of excitement. "Let them test. Humans have always adapted. Let's see how clever they really are." The horizon shifted slightly, then executed a smooth maneuver through the asteroid belt. Using the natural hazards of the station's orbit, the humans created a position that made the Varelian ships hesitate. They were clever, precise, and fearless. "Impressive," Rami said softly. They expected intimidation. They did not expect strategy. Xylar, monitoring the encounter from Varelia Prime, frowned. "Strategy? They use the environment. They are not relying on weapons alone. They are thinking ahead. This is unsettling." The standoff lasted for hours. Each side studied the other. The Varelians expected panic or nervousness. Humans expected nothing but observation and cautious action. Finally, Orvik sent another message. "Explain your purpose. We will allow dialogue only if you demonstrate trust." Rami's response was simple and honest. "We explore. We observe. We survive. We do not hide. Trust is earned through actions, not words. We are capable and we are willing to show it if needed, but only in defense." The words were strange to the Varelians. They had never heard diplomacy expressed this way. Usually, species would flatter, beg, or threaten. Humans simply stated their nature. Xylar muttered to himself, "They are extraordinary. Survival itself seems to define them. They do not rely solely on technology. They rely on themselves." A minor incident occurred when a small asteroid drifted too close to the station. The Varelians expected humans to panic or request assistance. Instead, the humans acted immediately. Using their ship's thrusters and careful calculations, they diverted the asteroid safely, saving both the station and Varelian ships from damage. The council watching the event on Varelia Prime was silent. Orvik's voice was low. They saved us without being asked. They could have ignored the asteroid. Yet they acted." Kylix nodded slowly. "This is not weakness. This is confidence. Humans do not fear danger. They embrace it, yet do not abuse it." Xylar felt a strange mix of fear and respect. "They are different, far beyond our assumptions. We cannot underestimate them." After the asteroid incident, a small group of Varelian representatives requested a direct meeting with the humans. They were curious, cautious, and more than a little afraid of what they did not understand. Rami prepared for the meeting. "Remember, they know nothing about humans," she said to Tariq. "We will show them who we are, but gently. Curiosity is fine. Threat is only if necessary." When the representatives arrived, the humans greeted them politely. Captain Rami stepped forward. "Welcome to our fleet. We mean no harm. We come to learn and to observe." The Varelians were taken aback by the calm confidence in her voice. She made no excuses. She showed no fear, yet there was no aggression either. One Varelian Lyran asked carefully, "Your species, you are not afraid of our weapons? Our fleet?" Rami smiled slightly. "We have faced worlds where life itself is a weapon. We survive. Fear is unnecessary. Respect is important. We trust you to do the same." The alien delegation exchanged nervous glances. They had expected submission or at least caution. Instead, they found a species who relied on resilience, intelligence, and courage. Xylar's voice came through the comm system, quietly, almost to himself. "They are Deathworlders, survivors. They thrive where others die. We are in their hands, and yet we are not afraid. How is this possible?" The first encounter ended without conflict, but the Varelians' perception of humans had changed forever. They had expected timid diplomats or reckless raiders. Instead, They found beings who combined strategy, fearlessness, and adaptability in ways no simulation could predict. As the humans departed to continue their exploration, Orcs turned to his council. Prepare for their next move. We must learn from them and we must respect them. The Deathworlders are unlike any species we have met. Xylar nodded slowly, still processing. We have never seen a species survive as they do. Their abilities, their confidence. It is remarkable. We cannot judge them by our usual standards. Outside the asteroid station, the human fleet sailed on, calm and unhurried. Captain Rami looked back at the alien ships. They are cautious, but they will learn quickly. Humans always adapt. Let's see how far this lesson goes. In the silent expanse of space, the galaxy had witnessed the first meeting between Varelians and humans. Neither side had fired a shot. Yet the humans had already made their mark. Not through weapons, but through courage, intelligence, and the quiet strength of survivors. The Varelians could not stop thinking about the humans. They had survived their first encounter without fear, without hesitation, and without aggression. Their fleet had shown remarkable discipline and resourcefulness, and the aliens could not predict how far they would go. In the Varelian war chamber, Kylix leaned over the tactical table. We need to test them, he said firmly. Observation is not enough. We must understand their true capabilities. Orvix's antennae twitched. Do you suggest a trap? Yes, Kylix said. Nothing lethal, but a controlled situation. We need to see how they adapt under pressure. Xylar, sitting nearby, frowned. Captain, be cautious. Humans are unpredictable. Their resilience exceeds anything we have recorded. We are careful, Kylix replied. We are not reckless, just thorough. The humans, unaware of the Varelians' deliberations, continued their exploration of the system. Captain Rami had instructed the crew to maintain course and avoid unnecessary conflict. But her instincts told her they would soon face more observation, and possibly testing. On the horizon, Rami turned to her first officer. Tarek, keep sensors active. I expect more contact. It may not be friendly, but we will handle it. Tariq nodded. Understood, Captain. Humans have survived worse. Let's see what happens, Rami smiled faintly. Exactly. Humans adapt. Always. That is what they do best. The Varelians implemented their plan quickly. A small strike team of fast, agile warships moved to intercept the human fleet. Their orders were precise. Create a controlled challenge without endangering lives. The Varelians positioned themselves in a narrow asteroid field, hoping the confined space would limit the humans' maneuverability. They expected to intimidate, to test reactions, and perhaps to provoke fear. As the humans entered the asteroid belt, the Varelians activated magnetic pulses and energy barriers. The rocks shifted unpredictably, and the sensors detected several artificial disturbances meant to simulate ambushes. Tariq scanned the field. They've created a trap, he said calmly. They expect us to panic. They expect us to run. Rami's expression did not change. Do not panic, observe, adapt. Humans survive environments far harsher than this. Let's show them what we can do. The asteroid field was tight. Massive rocks drifted slowly but unpredictably, as the Varelians manipulated gravity fields to shift their paths. Laser grids crisscrossed the space, a warning that any collision could be catastrophic. The Varelian fleet watched carefully, expecting to see hesitation. Instead, the humans moved with calculated precision. Every ship anticipated the drifting asteroids. Every maneuver used the environment to advantage. One small asteroid threatened to collide with a human scout ship. Instead of retreating, Rami ordered a delicate thruster adjustment. The ship shifted just enough to deflect the asteroid harmlessly, while simultaneously nudging it toward a Varelian test vessel. The aliens gasped. Their controlled simulation was now being turned against them. Xylar whispered almost in disbelief. They are using our test as part of their strategy. They adapt instantly. Kylix clenched a tentacle in frustration. Impossible. No species should think this fast under pressure. They anticipate outcomes we cannot calculate. Rami's voice came over the comms to the fleet. Keep formation steady. Use the terrain. Observe the enemy's plan and adjust. Defensive but intelligent. This is what humans do. Watch and learn. Tariq monitored multiple screens, noting the Varelians' movements. Captain, they are reacting faster than expected. Their calculations are instinctive. They are turning our traps into opportunities. Rami nodded. Exactly. Humans survive by thinking and reacting together. That is our strength. The skirmish continued for hours, each side watching, each side calculating. But every challenge the Varelians designed, the humans met with creativity, calm, and precision. They did not attack aggressively. They did not overreact. Instead, they adapted to each new hazard with skill. A Varelian commander, Siran, tried to force a corner. He sent 2 fast attack ships to flank the horizon. He expected fear, confusion, or at least hesitation. Instead, the humans split their small defensive team to counter the maneuver. One ship blocked the flank, while another used a gravitational anomaly to push the Varelian ships slightly off course. No damage occurred, but the aliens realized they had underestimated their opponents. Impossible, Siren muttered. No species could respond so quickly to multiple threats at once. Xylar shook his head slowly. Humans, they survive where others would fail. This is not arrogance. This is instinct, honed by the harshest worlds. The testing reached its peak when a controlled explosion was triggered near the human fleet. The Varelians had hoped to see panic or at least loss of coordination. Instead, humans responded with calm efficiency. Tariq directed the fleet. Calculate trajectories. Use the debris for cover. Adapt shields dynamically. Maintain formation. Every ship moved in perfect unison, each maneuver calculated in seconds. The Varelians watched silently, unable to anticipate the humans' next move. They had underestimated adaptability. Rami looked at her crew, pride in her eyes. Well done, everyone. Remember, humans survive not because they are fearless. They survive because they are clever, quick, and united. That is what makes them Deathworlders. The Varelians finally ended their test. They withdrew their fleets, unable to provoke failure. They had expected fear, hesitation, or mistakes. None came. Orcs turned to the council. This species, it is unlike any we have faced. Their ships are not the most powerful, but their minds, their strategy, it is extraordinary. They adapt instantly. They survive what no other species could. Xylar nodded. They do not rely solely on weapons. They rely on teamwork, instinct, and intelligence. They are remarkable. Kylix's voice was tight. Remarkable does not make them predictable. We must remain cautious, but perhaps we have underestimated them in every calculation. Meanwhile, the humans regrouped outside the asteroid field. Captain Rami spoke to the crew. This was a test. They expected us to panic. They expected us to fail. We did neither. That is what makes humans who they are. Always adaptable. Always ready. Always alive, Tariq smiled. It is incredible. We turned their trap into a demonstration of our strength without firing a single weapon. Rami nodded. Exactly. Strength is not always measured by firepower. Sometimes survival, cleverness, and courage are stronger than the largest fleet. Back on Varelia Prime, Xylar addressed the council. We must reconsider our approach. Humans are not like the species we know. They survive worlds that would destroy any others. They adapt to dangers we cannot predict. They are dangerous in a way we cannot measure. Orcs remained silent for a moment. Finally, he said, we do not attack them. We observe and learn. If they are dangerous, we must respect them. If they are allies, we must earn their trust. Either way, we must understand them fully. Xylar nodded, but his antennae twitched nervously. I do not know if we are ready to face them again. Their abilities. They exceed any simulations we have run. Humans. They are more than survival experts. They are Deathworlders. As the human fleet moved on, Rami looked at the vastness of space. This system is only the beginning. Other species will test us. We will survive. We will adapt. That is what humans do. The galaxy had witnessed the first true display of human adaptability and strategy. Not a single shot had been fired, yet the Varelians had learned an unforgettable lesson. The Deathworlders were a species unlike any other, impossible to underestimate, and destined to make their mark wherever they traveled. In the quiet of space, humans sailed on, their confidence steady, their minds sharp, and their reputation slowly beginning to reach across the stars. The Varelian Council had spent long cycles discussing the humans. They were not like any species the galaxy had encountered. Every simulation had failed to predict human adaptability, teamwork, and resilience. The Council knew that they could no longer treat humans like ordinary explorers. In the Grand Council Hall, Xylar spoke first. We cannot rely on distance or technology to judge them. Humans survive worlds that would destroy any of our known species. They do not fear danger. They do not panic. They adapt. Kylix's tentacle tapped the polished table nervously. Their fleet is small. Their weapons are simple, yet they can outmaneuver our most advanced tactics. How? Orvix's deep voice filled the hall. They rely on something we do not fully understand. Instinct, strategy, adaptation. Their actions show intelligence far beyond calculated probabilities. They survive and they thrive where others fail. That is why they are called Deathworlders. Xylar nodded. I propose we communicate directly. We must learn from them even if they are cautious. Observation is no longer enough. Meanwhile, the human fleet continued through the system. Captain Rami and her officer Tariq discussed the events of the previous encounter. They tested us, Tariq said. Every maneuver was a challenge. They expected fear or hesitation. They did not get it. Rami nodded, her expression calm. Exactly. Humans survive because we do not rely on fear. We rely on observation, adaptation, and teamwork. The galaxy has never understood how dangerous that can be. Tariq smiled. And yet we did not need to fire a single weapon. They learned our strength without violence. Intelligence is the best defense, Rami said, and sometimes it is the best offense too. The Varelians decided to send a diplomatic envoy to the humans. Xylar, carefully chosen for his experience with alien species, led a small delegation aboard a neutral shuttle. Rami had anticipated this. Prepare a welcome, she said. We show respect but no fear. Humans are confident, but we do not intimidate. Let them understand who we are without confrontation. The shuttle approached the horizon. The humans had prepared a docking area, ensuring safety and stability. When the Varelian delegation arrived, Rami greeted them personally. Welcome, she said. Her tone was calm and confident. We mean no harm. We are explorers and observers. Our goal is knowledge, understanding, and survival. We hope you share that purpose. The Varelians were stunned. They had expected caution, nervousness, or defensive measures. Instead, they were met with a straightforward, calm, and confident human captain. Xylar, speaking carefully, asked, You are not afraid of us? Of our fleet? Rami shook her head. Fear is unnecessary. Respect is essential. We trust that you will act with caution, as we do. Humans survive by understanding danger and adapting to it. That is what defines us. Kylix, observing remotely from Varelia Prime, whispered to Orvix. They speak without arrogance, yet without submission. It is unsettling. The humans offered a tour of their ship, showing the Varelians how they managed their fleet. Every system was practical, efficient, and rugged. Nothing was flashy, but everything was functional. Humans relied on teamwork and intelligence rather than purely advanced technology. Xylar observed quietly. He had seen many species boast of their fleets and firepower, yet humans had achieved the same effectiveness with simplicity. He noticed how the crew worked together, sharing responsibilities and adapting instantly to changes. This is remarkable, Xylar said quietly. They rely on skill, intelligence, and observation. Technology alone does not define their strength. Rami smiled faintly. Every human learns to survive harsh worlds. That training extends to everything we do. We rely on teamwork, strategy, and instinct. It keeps us alive, and it keeps us strong. Tariq added, We also value courage and intelligence. One cannot survive death worlds without both. That is why humans can adapt to any challenge. After the tour, a minor demonstration occurred. Humans simulated a system-wide emergency. A rogue asteroid drifting dangerously close to a populated colony planet. The Varelians observed as the humans calculated trajectories, adjusted shields, and maneuvered multiple ships to redirect the asteroid safely. Every movement was precise and coordinated. No alarms were panicked. No chaos occurred. Xylar watched in amazement. They survive worlds that would destroy any others. They act decisively. They adapt instantly. This is beyond what we expected. Kylix's voice was tight. They do not rely solely on weapons. They rely on knowledge, observation, and courage. How can a species survive that consistently? How can they thrive where others fail? Rami, observing Xylar's reaction, said softly, Humans are not invincible. We are capable. We adapt, we survive. That is all. The demonstration ended without any damage. The Varelians had expected some flaw, some hesitation, but none came. They realized that humans were capable of surviving and thriving in situations where any other species would fail. Xylar spoke to Orvix. Humans are extraordinary. We underestimated them. Their strength is not in weapons or numbers, but in their ability to survive and adapt. They are Deathworlders in every sense. Orcs nodded slowly. We must respect them. We must learn from them. We cannot predict them with our usual methods. They operate beyond our simulations. The Council agreed to maintain communication and careful observation. They knew humans could not be underestimated, and they realized that respect was the key to any future relationship. Back aboard the Horizon, Rami and her crew prepared for further exploration. They are learning, she said. They are cautious, respectful, and intelligent. That is good. We want allies, not enemies, Tariq smiled. And yet they now know we are not weak. They saw our adaptability, our teamwork. They saw humans survive where no one else would. Exactly, Rami replied. Fear is unnecessary. Respect is earned, and humans earn it naturally because we survive. We adapt. That is our advantage. That is why we are Deathworlders. Xyla returned to the Varelian Council with a report. They do not fear danger. They do not panic. They survive extreme conditions. They think collectively and act decisively. We cannot measure them with conventional methods. Orvix leaned back in his chair. Humans are dangerous in ways we cannot predict. We must respect them. Observation alone is no longer sufficient. They are a species the galaxy will have to recognize. Kylix added quietly. Perhaps our next encounter will show even more of their abilities. We must be ready, but we must also learn from them. Sylar's antennae twitched. We have seen humans handle the unexpected with skill and calm. They are not reckless. They are not arrogant. They are something entirely different. We must call them what they are, Deathworlders. As the humans moved onward through the star system, Rami looked out the viewport at the Varelian fleet below. They are cautious. They are intelligent. They are curious. That is good. Let them learn who we are. Let them understand that humans survive and thrive where others would fail. The crew of the Horizon worked quietly, preparing for the next system, the next challenge, the next encounter. They were explorers, yes, but they were also survivors. That combination made them formidable, even to the most cautious and calculating alien species. Across the galaxy, the legend of the Deathworlders began to spread quietly. Aliens who had studied humans for cycles shared the word. Humans survived worlds no one else could. Humans adapted instantly. Humans thrived, and the Varelians, cautious as they were, now understood the truth. These explorers from Earth were unlike any other species. They were survivors, thinkers, and problem solvers. They were humans. They were Deathworlders. The Varelians had spent long cycles considering the humans. They had tested them, observed them, and studied their capabilities. Yet after every calculation, every simulation, they concluded the same truth. Humans were unlike any species they had ever encountered. They adapted, survived, and thrived in ways that exceeded all predictions. In the Grand Council Hall, Orvix addressed his advisors. We can no longer treat humans as ordinary explorers. Their abilities surpass our expectations. They survive worlds that would destroy others. They adapt to threats we cannot predict. We must approach them with respect and caution. Xylar nodded. I propose we establish formal contact. Let them join the Multi-Species Council. They can be allies, but we must recognize their strengths. Kylix, always cautious, tapped the table. Agreed, but we should maintain readiness. Humans are capable of actions we cannot foresee. We respect them, yes, but we remain alert. Meanwhile, aboard the Horizon, Captain Rami reviewed the latest scans of the Varelian fleet. She had anticipated this moment. A chance to show goodwill, build trust, and demonstrate the strengths of humans without aggression. Tariq, her first officer, observed quietly. They will send envoys, he said. They have seen what we can do. They understand we are capable. They also understand we are reasonable. Rami nodded. Exactly. Humans survive, adapt, and think ahead. That makes us strong. But strength does not require intimidation. We earn respect by our actions, not by force. Let us show them that clearly. The Varelians sent a formal invitation to the human fleet. A delegation, including Xylar and other diplomats, approached the Horizon under strict protocols. The humans prepared a docking area, ensuring safety and efficiency. When the delegates arrived, Rami greeted them warmly. Welcome. We are pleased to meet you in peace. We understand your caution and we appreciate your respect. Humans value trust and cooperation. We hope this meeting strengthens understanding between our species. Xyler, speaking carefully, replied, "We have learned much from observing you. Your abilities are extraordinary. Your adaptability and teamwork exceed what our simulations predicted. You are a species we must respect. We extend an invitation to join our council and to work with us for mutual benefit." Rami smiled slightly. "We accept your invitation. Cooperation is a strength. Conflict is not. We are explorers first, but humans do not shy away from challenges when they arise. Together we can achieve much." The council meeting took place on a neutral station in orbit. Humans and Varelians gathered alongside representatives from other species. The humans, though few in number, commanded attention simply by their presence. Their calm confidence, their alertness, and their adaptability were evident to all. Xylar spoke first. "We have studied your actions. You survive and adapt to dangers that would destroy other species. You work together with coordination and intelligence. This is remarkable. You have earned our respect." Rami's response was measured. "Respect is mutual. Humans do not seek conflict unnecessarily. We survive because we adapt, and we adapt because we observe, learn, and act together. Cooperation is as important as strength. That is what we offer the council: partnership and understanding." Other species in the council murmured among themselves. Humans had a reputation across distant systems as Deathworlders, but observing them in action made that reputation real. They were not legends. They were living examples of survival, intelligence, and teamwork. As discussions continued, a minor crisis occurred on a nearby colony planet. A rogue asteroid had drifted dangerously close to a settlement. The council looked at each other, uncertain of how to respond. Rami stood and addressed the assembly. "We can assist. Humans have experience with extreme conditions and survival strategies. We can help redirect the asteroid safely without harm to the colony or the planet." Xylar hesitated but nodded. "You have proven capable. Proceed, we will observe." The humans acted quickly. They calculated the asteroid's trajectory, coordinated multiple ships, and used controlled gravitational fields to redirect it safely. Within minutes, the threat was eliminated. The Varelians and other species watched silently, impressed. Kylix whispered to Orvix, "They do not rely on overwhelming force. They rely on intelligence, observation, and coordination. That is their strength." Orvix nodded. "And they have used it to save lives, ours and theirs. Humans are not reckless and they are not aggressive. They are something else entirely. They are Deathworlders." After the crisis, Xylar spoke privately with Rami. "You could have ignored the asteroid. You could have left it to others. Yet you acted immediately, precisely, and without hesitation. That is extraordinary," Rami smiled. "Humans survive by helping when it matters. We adapt to danger and act decisively. That is how we thrive on Deathworlds, and that is how we operate everywhere else." Xylar's antennae twitched thoughtfully. "We have underestimated humans for far too long. You are not only capable, but you also inspire trust. That is rare." Rami's eyes were steady. "Trust is earned through action. Humans understand that. Respect is mutual, not demanded. That is why cooperation works." The council formally welcomed humans as full members. Discussions of trade, exploration, and security were now conducted with humans at the table. Their perspectives, informed by experience in survival and adaptability, offered insights no other species could provide. Xylar presented a summary to the council. Humans are capable of surviving extreme conditions, adapting instantly, and coordinating complex operations under pressure. Their resilience is unmatched, and their intelligence is practical, not theoretical. They are a species that thrives in challenges where others would fail. Orvix added, "We must learn from them. Cooperation and observation are now essential. Humans are a species that cannot be underestimated. They are allies, but they are also a reminder that survival is the ultimate strength." Meanwhile, aboard the Horizon, Rami addressed her crew. "We have earned respect, but this is only the beginning. Cooperation with other species allows us to expand knowledge and protect lives. Humans survive because we adapt. Humans thrive because we work together. That is our strength," Tariq nodded. "And now the galaxy will see it firsthand. Our reputation as Deathworlders is no longer just legend. It is reality," Rami smiled. "Yes, and we will continue to show that humans can survive, adapt, and lead without aggression. That is what makes us formidable." As humans and Varelians worked together to stabilize the planet, other species observed quietly. They saw not just survival, but intelligence, teamwork, and courage in action. Humans did not rely solely on weapons. They relied on understanding, adaptation, and decisive action. Across the galaxy, stories of humans spread quietly at first, then more broadly. Aliens who had feared or doubted them began to understand a simple truth. Humans could not be underestimated. They survived worlds that would kill most, adapted instantly to dangers, and acted with intelligence and courage. Xylar, now an advocate for humans within the Varelian Council, reflected on the events. We have seen a species that combines survival instinct, intelligence, and cooperation in ways no other species has. They are extraordinary. We must work with them, respect them, and learn from them. Orcs nodded. Indeed, the Deathworlders have arrived. They have shown the galaxy their true strength, and we are fortunate to witness it firsthand. The Horizon sailed through space, its crew calm and confident. Humans had survived the tests, gained the respect of a powerful alien race, and secured alliances that would shape the future. They had not used force unnecessarily. They had not intimidated. They had survived, adapted, and earned respect. Rami looked at the stars ahead. This is just the beginning. Humans will continue to explore, survive, and thrive. That is who we are. That is what makes us Deathworlders. The crew of the Horizon smiled, ready for whatever challenges awaited them. Across the galaxy, the legend of the Deathworlders had grown from myth to reality, and the Varelians, once cautious and doubtful, now recognized the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of danger, discovery, and opportunity. But humans were ready. They always were.